Hello, thank you for listening to this episode of the Mars October Rants. Today's rant is going to be titled Pointing the Finger because, everyone nowadays just seems to be pointing the finger at everybody. Everyone wants to blame everybody else and everyone wants to talk about how bad everyone else is or how everyone else is such an evil person and how everyone feels like, that person is good and they'll never do no right it's funny because as I've been listening to a lot of people, people that like, I'm trying to word this the correct way because I want it to come off right. People that, try to moralize and, beat their chest and browbeat people, they're usually some of the most corrupt, evil people themselves, like everyone will, usually talk about how bad other people are and how they're so virtuous and how they're so good and, how they never do wrong. And, you know, in my experience, people that are genuinely good, people that are genuinely good people, that are good in pretty much every metric, they don't have to tell people that, they just are, they act, and they don't have to put on a fake font or front and, try to convince people that they are good, because it's funny because a lot of the time when people talk about a certain aspect that they hate in other people, you'll tend to see that same aspect in that person, like say they don't like people who are disrespectful and then they'll turn around and be super disrespectful to you, or they don't like people that are judgmental and then they'll turn around and they'll be judgmental to you. People point the finger at other people and they want to talk about how they're so good. And, they usually inherit the same traits that they don't like in other people. And that's something that I've seen so much as I've gotten a lot older. And it's something that, you can't escape. You're always going to come across this because, like, it's kind of like the whole nice guy thing. And I'm not trying to say that, that's a bad thing to say because there are nice guys out there that do exist, that do everything right. And, they get treated like shit by women. But I really do feel like if you're a it doesn't really matter what gender, but I guess nice guy will mean a guy. But, if you're a nice guy, then I don't really think you'd have to say that over and over and over again. Like I said, nice people, they don't have to always talk about how nice they are. They show their kindness through their actions. And, I just feel like a lot of people who talk about how good and virtuous they are, a lot of them seem to have like a skeleton in their closet or skeletons in their closet or something or some certain aspect of their life that they're not sharing with us that they don't want us to see, because a lot of people put on a fake font, like I said, and they don't really show you the full like version of themselves. And, it's just very funny how, people will try to point the finger, but, they don't want to admit themselves that they probably possess the same qualities that they're accusing other people of having. And it gets out of control. And, like, I don't know if, confronting these people about their behavior would be something that would be beneficial, but, sometimes I feel like I want to talk to these people about it, but, who are they gonna, like, who am I should say, who am I to tell that to them? Like, they're not going to believe me. They're not going to say, you're right. I need to stop doing that. I need to think before I speak and realize that I'm not perfect and no one else is perfect and look at things from a different perspective. They're not going to say that. So bringing it up to them is not going to change their behavior. So I just think I'm just making this because it's a rant. It's just so funny how people will talk about how others are so bad and how they're so good. And then you'll see the cracks start to show in their foundation of their personality, and you'll start to see the same shit that they're talking about how they don't like, and then you start to see it in them. And I've seen it in so many people that were supposedly my friends online, and I saw the crack show, and it was everything that they were against and everything that they hated. And then, it starts to show eventually, and, that's just how life is, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to deal with it as it comes and then just, try to figure out what to do from there. But anyways, thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rant. Signing out. Have a good one, guys.